Hey friends, welcome back to Alice's Crochet Corner. Today I'm back with another beginner friendly tutorial and we are going to be making this super easy phone bag. This is a great stash busting project and you can use any type of yarn you like and the pattern is easily adjustable to fit any phone. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more beginner friendly crochet projects that I know you'll actually use. Now for this project, I used 100% cotton yarn in a 10-ply weight, and I used about 60 meters in total. You also need a 3.5mm crochet hook, a few stitch markers, some scissors, and a darning needle. Alright, let's get straight into it. We will start by chaining the width of our phone. To begin, we're going to create a slip knot. How I like to do mine is I twist my yarn to form a loop and grab the tail end of the yarn and pull through. Insert our hook and pull tight. Now we are going to be chaining the width of our bag, and so for me, I know I'm going to chain 16 to fit the phone. So to do a chain, we wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through, and that is one chain, as you can see with the V. That's 2, and I'm going to keep going until I have done 16. I finished chaining 16 and you can see how it fits along the width of my phone. Feel free to adjust the number of chains as you need so that it can fit your phone perfectly. But as you can see, this is how I'm measuring it, and that's how it's looking when I measure it against the width of my phone. When we are happy with the size, we're going to go ahead and start working into the second chain from the hook. So we don't count the chain on the hook, which means that this is the first chain and then this is the second chain. And in the second chain from the hook, we are going to be working 1 double crochet. So to work a double crochet, we wrap our yarn around our hook once, insert our hook into that second chain, grab our yarn to pull up a loop, and you see we now have 3 loops on our hook. We wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through all 3 loops. And this is going to be our first stitch, so we're going to grab out our stitch marker and just mark that first stitch. And the pattern is we are going to be working 1 half double crochet in every chain until we have reached that last chain. So again, wrapping our yarn around our hook, inserting our hook into that next chain and pulling up a loop. Wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through all 3 loops. And so that's our second half double crochet. And again, I'm going to work into that next chain again with our half double crochet. And we will just repeat that until we have reached the end. And you can see we have worked 1 half double crochet in every chain, and we have now arrived in this very last chain. In this last chain, we want to work 3 half double crochet. So we're going to do that together, inserting our hook into that last chain. And this is our first half double crochet. I'm going to do my second one now. And then we are on to our third. Like this. And this forms the curve for the base of our bag, and it also curves us around to the other side of the chain. And so we are now going to be working on the underlying chains, and you can see that in this last chain we have done 3 half double crochet. So we're now going to work into the next chain. Now when we work onto the next chain, what I really like to do is also bury this tail end of the yarn. So how I like to do that is I just work around the yarn. Okay, so inserting my hook into that next chain. Oh wait, forgot, I need to wrap my yarn around my hook, insert my hook into that next chain to pull up a loop, wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through 3 loops. So again, that's the half double crochet on the other side. And you can see I'm just working around that tail end of the yarn too. And the reason why we do this is because I think it creates a neater look, and also it gives us less to weave in at the end. And so you can see I'm working 1 half double crochet right above the one we've done on the other side. And so we are just going to keep going with that all the way until we have reached the end here. So I'm just going to do that with you. You can see I have done 1 half double crochet on the other side, and it's sitting right above the one we have done on the first side. And we've now reached the very end of this side, and we want to do 2 half double crochet into this chain. Okay, and so this is my second one, and you can see that this is the same chain as where we have done our very first half double crochet. You can see it's marked with a stitch marker. If you also chained 16 at the start with me, at the end of this round we should have a total of 32 half double crochet. And I'm going to teach you how to count. So to count our stitches, this little V counts as 1 stitch, okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. And again, we don't count the chain on the hook. And so at the end of this round, we know we have a total of 32 half double crochet stitches. Once we are happy with our stitch count, we can remove our stitch marker. And we are going to slip stitch on top of that first half double crochet. And to do a slip stitch, we insert our hook right above that first half double crochet, which is where we had our stitch marker. We make sure we have both loops on our hook as we pull our yarn through and through again. And that is the end of round 1. And the pattern for the body of the bag is just going to be repeating the same round until we have reached the height for our phone. So I'm going to do a couple of rounds with you. First, we are going to start by chaining 1, and this does not count as a stitch. So in that first stitch, we are going to be working our half double crochet again. So just inserting that through that first stitch to do our first half double crochet for this round. And when that is done, again we grab out our stitch marker and just mark that first stitch. And we'll repeat and work 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way around. I'm very excited to use this phone bag because I've got an event coming up, and sometimes you just don't want to have a bag to hold everything. You really just want to have your phone on you. And what I find these days is that everything you need is practically on your phone anyway. You can put your license, at least in Australia, in New South Wales, you have your license, your Apple Wallet, everything you really need is on your phone. So you just want something that's sturdy that can carry your phone around. And so I'm very excited to use this, and I thought it will be a great opportunity to also post a tutorial for you guys so that you guys can also use it. And I love how practical a phone bag actually is. And so you can see I'm just working that 1 half double crochet all the way around. Just grabbing some more yarn. I have worked a half double crochet stitch all the way around with you, and at the end of this round we should have the same number of stitches as we did in the last round, and for me that's 32 half double crochet stitches. Once we are happy with the stitch count, we are going to end this round by doing a slip stitch on top of that first half double crochet again. So we can grab out our stitch marker, insert our hook right above that first stitch, grab our yarn and pull through again. And I just like to make sure that this is nice and tight. And we have just finished with the first round of the body of the bag. After the first round of the body, you can see that our work is starting to fold, and so we're going to just be repeating exactly what we have done in that last round until it covers the entire height for our phone. I want to do another round with you, so we're going to chain 1 to start, and in that same stitch we are going to work a half double crochet, and again that chain 1 at the start does not count as a stitch. I'm going to insert our stitch marker, And again, it's just 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way around. I love the half double crochet stitch. I find it so beginner friendly, but it's also very pretty and quicker to work up than a single crochet. But I still think it's quite sturdy too, so it doesn't stretch as much as a double crochet would. It's like a nice little medium. I'm just working all the way around. We have now worked a half double crochet in every stitch all the way around together, and the same as the last 2 rounds, we should have a total of 32 half double crochet stitches. And when we are happy with the stitch count, we can go ahead and remove our stitch marker, as we are going to slip stitch on top of that first half double crochet to end this round. So we have just done the base together, guys, and also 2 rounds of the body, and we are going to repeat exactly what we have done in the last 2 rounds until it covers our phone. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you when we're done. I have finished working on the body of the bag, and this is how the phone looks inside the bag. I ended up doing a total of 22 rounds for the body, and the entire height that we're looking at the moment is about 16 centimeters. Now feel free to do more or less rounds of the body of the bag as you need to fit your phone. Once we are happy with how the bag is looking, we can grab out our scissors and cut our yarn. I am then going to chain 1 and pull through. You can weave this end in now or later, but I like to do it later when we have finished with working on the bag straps. So now we are going to be working on marking the bag straps together. And so I've grabbed out my 4 stitch markers, and what we're going to do is mark where we want our bag straps to start. So we are going to mark our bag strap from the right hand side first, because this is where the bag strap is going to start. And you can see that the stitch at the very edge is going to be our middle stitch, and our bag strap is going to make up of 3 stitches. So what we want to do is mark the stitch just before, so to the left, just before that middle stitch. So I'll show you what I mean. And then that's the middle stitch, and we will mark that 3rd stitch. And so our bag straps are going to take part of these 3 stitches. And so you can see as we lay the bag flat, this is our 1st stitch, the edge is our middle stitch, and then we have our 3rd stitch. And we are going to do the same on the other side. So again, lifting our bag, and we can see that the edge is that middle stitch. So I'm going to mark the stitch before it. And then we have our middle stitch, and then the stitch after it will again also be our third stitch. You can see this is how it's looking now. And we'll be working our bag strap from the right hand side to eventually attach to this left hand side. And so we're going to work on the right hand side first. And in the first stitch marker, we are going to insert our hook. Grab our yarn and pull through that stitch. Chain 1, and this does not count as a stitch. So in that stitch we will work a single crochet. And to do a single crochet, we insert our hook into that stitch, grab our yarn and pull up a loop, and wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through 2 loops. And that's our first single crochet. And then we are going to work a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then the last stitch is also where that last stitch marker is. You can remove the stitch markers if you like, but the reason why I keep them is so that it's easy for me to make sure that I am only working across those 3 stitches. And so you can see very mildly as we lay the bag flat that our strap is starting to form. After we have done 1 row of our bag strap, we chain 1, and then we turn our work and work a single crochet in the next 3 stitches again. So just not the chain 1, but the stitch below it, we work a single crochet. That's 1. In that middle stitch, that's our second one. And then in our last stitch, that is our third single crochet. Yeah? And so we have now done 2 rows of our bag strap. And then after we have worked the 3 single crochets, again we chain 1, turn our work, and continue working into those 3 stitches. And so at the end of each row for our bag strap, we should have 3 stitches for that row. Like so, chain 1, turn our work, and repeat 1, 2, and 3. We are going to do it a couple more times together again, chaining 1, turning our work, and then doing our single crochet across each of the 3 stitches. Chain 1, turn our work. And so you can see as we lay our bag flat that our bag strap is starting to form. And what we want to do is repeat the rows as many times as we need until we have reached the length that we're happy with to attach to the other side of the bag. And so that can be any length you like. It depends on whether or not you want this bag to be a crossbody, which is what I'm going to be doing. And so we just work as many times as we need until we have reached our desired length, and then I'll meet you when we're done. I have finished working on the bag strap and I ended up doing 146 rows of the single crochet. And for size reference, we're looking at about 82 centimeters. Now feel free to do more or less rows as you need. To be quite honest, we won't really truly know if we're happy with how it sits across our body until we actually try it out. So next I'm going to work with you on attaching the strap onto the bag, but we're not going to cut our yarn because we're actually going to test and see if we're happy with how it sits. So to attach the strap onto the bag, what I like to do is turn the bag inside out. And make sure that our bag strap is nice and flat before we attach, because we don't want it to twist. And what we're doing is aligning our bag strap so that it sits nicely across or nicely next to our stitch markers on the other side of the bag. And this is why the stitch markers are very helpful, because we're going to use our hook to pick back up where we left off with our bag strap and align the bag strap right next to the first stitch marker, like this. Okay, and then we are going to grab our yarn and pull through the bag and the strap like this. And we are going to slip stitch to join the bag strap onto the bag. So we're going to go back into the first stitch for our bag strap, and then also the stitch with the stitch marker, as you can see. And then we're going to grab our yarn and pull through and pull through again. So that's one slip stitch done. Now we're going to insert our hook into that middle stitch now, all the way through, so from the bag strap and the body of the bag. And then we're going to grab our yarn and pull through and pull through again. That is our second slip stitch. And then last one, we're going to insert our hook into that last stitch on the strap and through that last stitch marker to do our slip stitch. And there we have it. Then I'm going to chain one, but I'm not going to cut my yarn just yet, because what I really want is for us to test the bag and see if we like the way it sits across our body. And so this is a personal preference, whether or not you want it to be a crossbody bag or a shoulder bag. But first we're going to try it out with our phone, wrap it across our body and see whether or not we're happy with how it feels. Just because if you're using acrylic yarn, for example, it will stretch a lot more than cotton yarn, for example. So we just want to adjust the rows of our bag strap as we need, so that we are absolutely very happy with what we've made. When we are sure we are happy with how it looks, we're going to go back to where we have attached the strap onto the bag. Once we are happy with how everything looks, we're going to pick back up where we left off, grab our scissors and cut our yarn and weave it through. And then we can remove our stitch markers as well. Guys, we are so close to finishing. I'm honestly so excited for us. I love how with the slip stitch as well, it looks very neat. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so now we are going to weave in our ends. Thankfully, we don't actually have that many to weave through. So you can also turn the bag inside out to weave it in if you like to. I'm just gonna go through as many stitches as I can in one direction. Make sure that when we pull, we don't pull too tight so that we don't change the shape of our work. My yarn's splitting at the moment. And then I just like to go through the stitches in a different direction. Because we really don't want to undo any of our hard work. I've definitely had that happen to me before. Then I'm just going to do a little bit of a knot once I'm happy with how it looks. That is one done. And we're just going to go ahead and do the same for the other ones, and then we are almost done. Guys, look at what we have just made. I am so proud of us. I really hope you enjoyed making this bag with me. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, especially if you like to see more beginner-friendly practical crochet projects. This really helps me to keep creating these tutorials. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.